there's a moment that changes everything. It's the moment you realize you've spent years defending yourself to people who were never going to understand you anyway, explaining your choices, justifying your boundaries, defending your decisions, trying to make people see your perspective, your truth, your reasons. And one day, something inside you breaks, or maybe it awakens, and you simply stop. You stop explaining, you stop defending, you stop trying to make them understand. And in that moment, you become untouchable. Not untouchable in the sense of cold or distant, but untouchable in the sense that their opinions, their judgments, their misunderstandings can no longer reach you, can no longer wound you, can no longer make you question yourself. Because you finally realize something that most people spend their entire lives missing, you don't owe anyone an explanation for being who you are. Friedrich Nietzsche understood this deeply. He wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." And that's exactly what explaining yourself is. It's the tribe demanding that you justify your existence, that you prove your worth, that you translate yourself into language they can digest. But here's what Nietzsche knew, and what you're about to learn. The moment you stop participating in that game is the moment you reclaim your power. In the next 17 minutes, I'm going to show you why the need to explain yourself is actually a prison, why every justification you offer weakens you, and why the most powerful people you've ever met share one quality: they never feel the need to defend who they are. But more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from this exhausting pattern and step into a version of yourself that is truly, completely untouchable. Because here's the truth nobody tells you: your explanations aren't helping you, they're exposing you. And once you understand why, you'll never explain yourself the same way again. Let's start with a question. When was the last time you felt the need to explain yourself? Maybe it was a decision you made that someone questioned, a boundary you set that someone challenged, a path you chose that someone criticized. And what did you do? You explained, you justified. You laid out your reasoning, your thought process, your entire internal logic. You tried to make them see, to make them understand, to make them approve. And what happened? Did they suddenly say, "Oh, now I get it, you're absolutely right"? Or did they find new objections, new criticisms, new reasons why you're wrong? Did your explanation satisfy them, or did it just give them more ammunition? Here's what you need to understand. People who truly respect you don't need explanations. And people who don't respect you won't accept your explanations anyway. Your words won't change their mind because their mind was already made up before you opened your mouth. They're not seeking understanding, they're seeking submission. They want you to doubt yourself, to second-guess yourself, to shrink back into the box they've built for you. And every time you explain yourself, you're participating in their game. You're accepting the premise that you need their approval, that their understanding matters, that you owe them access to your inner world. But you don't, you never did. Carl Jung spoke about this in terms of individuation. He said that becoming who you truly are requires separating from the collective, from the expectations, judgments, and projections of others. And one of the clearest signs that you've individuated is that you no longer feel compelled to justify your existence to people who will never see you clearly anyway. This is psychological freedom, and it starts the moment you stop explaining yourself. Now let's talk about why you explain yourself in the first place. Because this pattern didn't appear out of nowhere. It was taught to you, conditioned into you. And understanding where it comes from is the first step to breaking free from it. Most people learn to over-explain in childhood. Maybe you grew up in an environment where your feelings were dismissed, where "because I said so" was the only explanation you received, but you were expected to justify everything you did, where love felt conditional on your ability to articulate why you deserved it, where being misunderstood meant being punished. So you learned to defend yourself, to explain, to justify. You learned that if you could just find the right words, if you could just make them understand, then maybe they'd stop criticizing you, stop rejecting you, stop making you feel like you were wrong for being yourself. And that pattern followed you into adulthood. Now, Every time someone questions you, your nervous system activates. You feel that old familiar panic, that need to prove yourself, to make them see, to earn their approval. And before you know it, you're explaining yourself to your partner, your parents, your friends, your colleagues, even strangers on the internet. But here's what that child didn't understand, and what you need to understand now. Explaining yourself to people who are determined to misunderstand you is a form of self-betrayal, because it means you've accepted their authority over you. You've agreed that their opinion matters more than your own self-knowledge. You've handed them power they never deserved to have. Psychologists call this external locus of control. It means your sense of worth, your sense of rightness, your sense of self comes from outside of you, from how others perceive you, from whether they approve, from whether they understand. And as long as your worth is determined externally, you will never be free. You'll spend your entire life performing, explaining, defending, exhausting yourself, trying to control how others see you. But you can't control how others see you. You never could. Their perception is filtered through their wounds, their biases, their limitations, their fears. They don't see you. They see their projection of you, and no amount of explanation will change that. This is why Nietzsche said, "You have your way, I have my way." As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist. He understood that there is no universal standard you need to meet, no authority you need to convince, no jury whose verdict determines your worth. There's only your path and their path, and your path doesn't require their approval to be valid. Let me show you what happens when you stop explaining yourself. Because this isn't just philosophical theory, this is practical power. First, you reclaim your energy. Do you have any idea how much energy you waste explaining yourself? Every justification, every defense, every attempt to make someone understand. That's energy that could be going toward your goals, your growth, your creativity, your peace. But instead, you're pouring it into a bottomless pit, trying to fill someone else's need for control over you. When you stop explaining, that energy returns to you. Suddenly, you have more mental space, more emotional capacity, more clarity, because you're no longer fragmenting yourself trying to be understood by people who don't want to understand you. You're whole, you're focused, you're present in your own life instead of performing in theirs. Second, you become selective about who has access to you. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you start recognizing who deserves your truth and who doesn't. There are people in your life who've earned the right to your vulnerability, who've shown up for you, who respect your boundaries, who ask questions from genuine curiosity rather than judgment. Those people get your explanations, they get your inner world, they get you. But the rest, the critics, the gossipers, the people who question every choice you make, the ones who are always subtly implying you're doing it wrong, they get nothing. Not because you're being cold, but because you've learned that pearls before swine is not generosity, it's waste. Third, you command respect. This is the paradox most people miss. The more you explain yourself, the less people respect you. Because explanation looks like insecurity. It looks like you're not sure of yourself, like you need validation, like you're asking permission to exist as you are. But when you simply are who you are, when you make your choices and move forward without justification, people sense something different. They sense certainty, self-possession, power, and power doesn't beg to be understood, it simply is. And people respond to that. Even if they don't agree with you, they respect you, because you're not asking for their approval. Fourth, you force people to deal with reality instead of their projections. When you stop explaining yourself, people can no longer hide behind their interpretations. They have to confront the actual you, your actions, your results, your presence, not the story they've told themselves about you. And for many people, that's uncomfortable. They'll push harder. They'll demand explanations. They'll accuse you of being cold, secretive, difficult. But that discomfort is theirs to manage, not yours to fix. You are not responsible for making yourself small enough to fit their understanding. You are not required to break yourself down into digestible pieces for people who refuse to see you whole. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wrote in his private journals, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. You know yourself better than anyone else ever could. You've lived every moment of your life. You know your intentions, your struggles, your growth, your reasons, and yet you're giving more weight to the opinion of someone who knows a fraction of your story. Someone who's interpreting you through their own distorted lens. That's not humility. That's self-abandonment. And it ends the moment you decide it ends. Now, let me tell you what stopping explanations doesn't mean. Because there's a difference between being untouchable and being defensive. Between being self-possessed and being closed off. Stopping explanations doesn't mean you become cold or uncommunicative. It doesn't mean you refuse to have conversations or share yourself with people who matter. It doesn't mean you build walls so high that no one can reach you. What it means is this: you stop defending, you stop justifying, you stop trying to convince people who are determined not to be convinced. You speak your truth clearly once and then you move on. You don't repeat yourself. You don't beg to be understood. You don't sacrifice your peace trying to change someone's mind. You state your boundary and you hold it. You make your decision and you stand in it. You live your values and you let your life speak for itself. That's the difference. You're not hiding, you're just done performing. And here's what's beautiful about this. The right people get it immediately. They don't need a dissertation on why you made the choice you made. They trust you. They respect your autonomy. They understand that you're a whole person with depth and reasons and wisdom they may not fully see. And they're okay with that. They don't need to understand everything to support you. Those are your people. And when you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you finally have the energy to invest deeply in the relationships that actually nourish you. Let me give you some practical guidance on how to actually do this. Because I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but how do I stop a lifetime pattern of over-explaining? First, notice the urge. The next time someone questions you or challenges your decision, pause. Feel that familiar pull to justify yourself, that panic in your chest, that rush to explain. Just notice it. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just observe it. This is your conditioning activating. Your old pattern trying to protect you the only way it knows how. Second, breathe. Give yourself 5 seconds before you respond. In those 5 seconds, ask yourself, does this person deserve my explanation? Have they earned access to my inner world? Is this explanation for them or for me? Am I defending myself or am I trying to control their perception of me? Third, respond simply. You don't need to give them nothing. You can acknowledge their question, but your answer doesn't need to be a defense. It can be simple, clear, final. I've made my decision. This is what works for me. I'm not interested in discussing this. I understand you see it differently. That's it. No justification, no defense, no performance. Fourth, tolerate their discomfort. This is the hardest part. Because when you stop explaining, people get uncomfortable. They're used to you performing for them. And when you stop, they'll push. They'll accuse you of being secretive, defensive, cold. They'll try to guilt you into explaining, and you have to let them be uncomfortable. Their discomfort is not your emergency. You are not responsible for managing their feelings about your boundaries. Fifth, redirect your energy. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself to someone who doesn't deserve it, redirect that energy toward yourself. Journal about it, process it. Understand what you're really feeling. Often, the need to explain is covering a deeper fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being alone. Feel that fear, sit with it, and remind yourself that you are not alone. You have yourself, and that's enough. Alan Watts, the philosopher who brought Eastern wisdom to the West, once said, "Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. You cannot capture yourself in explanation. You cannot translate the totality of your being into words that someone else will fully understand. You are too complex, too layered, too evolving, and the attempt to do so is not just futile. It's diminishing. You are not a thesis to be defended. You are a living, breathing, constantly evolving human being, and you owe no one a breakdown of your existence. So here's what I want you to understand. Becoming untouchable isn't about building armor. It's about removing it. It's about realizing you were never vulnerable to their opinions in the first place, that their misunderstanding doesn't change your truth, that their disapproval doesn't diminish your worth, that their confusion doesn't require your clarification. You become untouchable when you finally understand that you are the only authority on your life, that your inner knowing is more valuable than their external judgment, that your peace is more important than their understanding. And when you live from that place, everything shifts. You stop wasting time on people who drain you. You stop shrinking to fit their limitations. You stop betraying yourself to earn approval you don't even want. You start living fully, authentically, powerfully. And yes, some people won't understand. Some people won't approve. Some people will judge you, criticize you, misinterpret you, and you'll be fine, better than fine, because their opinion is about them, not you, and you're finally free. If this resonated with you, subscribe, because next week I'm going to show you why people pleasers aren't actually kind and how your need to be liked is destroying your relationships. But right now, comment this: I am done explaining myself. Say it, commit to it, because that decision is the beginning of your freedom. That's the moment you step into the most powerful version of yourself, the version that doesn't ask permission, doesn't seek approval, doesn't perform for validation, the version that simply is. And that version is untouchable, not because no one can reach you, but because nothing they say can shake you, because you finally know who you are. And you no longer need them to confirm it. That's freedom, that's power, and it's been waiting for you all along. All you had to do was stop explaining and start living. Welcome home to yourself. This is where your real life begins.